Hello and welcome to the Think Share. My name's Zach here to bring to what I've been thinking about, sharing about, talking about, listening to, reading about that doesn't belong in math class to make you the goodest version of yourself. I wanted to share a little bit about how I came up with the idea for my YouTube channel / this podcast here. I was trying to take Tim Ferriss's advice. So Tim Ferriss is a best-selling author. He's a podcaster as well as he's constantly at the top of the business podcast list. And he's generally a human guinea pig. He does a lot of experimentation on himself, a lot of testing. He's very a critical thinker, and I think he has a fantastic... I don't even know if he has a fantastic personality, but I really like what he's up to and what he does for people. And one of the things that he recommended in the 4-Hour Workweek, which the book is about how to create a business that's somewhat automated, almost fully automated, so that you can literally just work 4 hours per week. He says the best way to create a product or a service that you can turn into a business is something that scratches your own itch. So a lot of us have this one or two things that are really annoying to us, or that we have to constantly do, that if a tool existed that would fix that problem, it would really make our lives better. And oftentimes we can look around and try to find the tool that exists out there to help us, and maybe it doesn't exist yet. And so when we know our problem really well, we know exactly what the tool is that would fix it, that would change it, that would help to eliminate it and just improve the general experience of the person dealing with that problem. So what he says in the book is to scratch your own itch. So one of the things that he found himself spending the most money on when he first started his business was that he was spending a lot of money on supplements and products for his growth, sports enhancements, etc. So he started making a supplement that was cheaper but accomplished the same thing, and then he started selling it. And something similarly, his 4-Hour Workweek book, he was looking for a book that would teach people how to turn their business into something almost fully automated that would allow them to spend all of their time doing what they really love instead of, working for the dollar, to improve their lifestyle. Like, let's find something that will improve our lifestyle because we're not doing it all the time, but makes us enough money. So he created the 4-Hour Workweek because he was scratching his own itch. The book didn't exist, so he wrote it. The supplement didn't exist, so he wrote it. When he was writing Tribe of Mentors, he was having sort of a personal crisis about his goals and where his life was heading. So instead of asking himself and trying to figure out the answer, he asked a bunch of people that he thought were very knowledgeable and experts that could provide some support. And so he emailed a couple hundred people, and then I forget if it was that he realized he could turn it into a book, or it was that he realized halfway through that it could be turned into a book. So Tribe of Mentors is him trying to automate the process, scratch his own itch for what kind of life advice to take from people. And he decided to ask the questions that he often asked on his podcasts. I believe there are 11 of them. I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but some of them are what's a good book that you've read multiple times or you gift to people the most? What is a purchase for under $100 that has improved your life? What is some bad advice that you hear in your industry for a college student coming out of college that's ambitious and high achieving? What are some recommendations or advice you would give to them? What would you recommend they do, etc.? So coming back to my YouTube channel and the ThinkShare here, is really the goal of it is I wanted to find a YouTube channel where they're giving advice, daily motivation or inspiration that was not only inspirational and accomplished, like getting people to move and do their thing better, but I wanted to create something where I showed how to implement it at the same time. I feel like there's a lot of coaches out there. There's a lot of authors, YouTubers, podcasters that talk about how to inspire us and how all of these ideas, but they don't necessarily talk about how they implement it themselves. I think Tim Ferriss does a pretty good job of that, but I think there's a lot out there that people talk about all these great ideas, and I say to myself, well, great. How did you implement it? How did you take this wonderful quote and actually change your life from it? So that's what I do on my channel is I really try to I really only share advice once I've already taken it and had some results. Like yesterday, I talked about how I was judging people, and at some point I realized that if I just talked to the people, that the judgment would go away. And so I did that. I did it first, and then I shared about it later on. So I think about what's going to improve my life. I try to take some action, and then I share it. So that's all for today. I wanted to just share with you why I do this. And, if this is something that you think you or someone else would like, share it with them. Thank you for listening. Stay weird, humans. Yay.